Good evening. It was a warm summer night in 1999 when the news broke. John F. Kennedy Jr., his wife Carolyn Bessette Kennedy, and her sister Lauren were missing. Their plane, en route from New Jersey to Martha's Vineyard, had vanished from radar. The nation held its breath, hoping against hope for a miracle. But as the hours ticked by, a sense of dread settled in. This wasn't just another news story. This was the Kennedys. Today, we delve into the untold story of John F. Kennedy Jr.'s fatal plane crash, a mix of tragic decisions, environmental challenges, and deeper personal and political context that many casual observers might not know. This isn't about conspiracy theories, but about piecing together the events and pressures that may have contributed to that fateful night. We'll examine the circumstances surrounding the crash, the investigation, and the lingering questions that remain. We owe it to their memory and to ourselves to understand what happened. John F. Kennedy Jr. loved to fly. It was his escape, his freedom. He was a licensed pilot, but there's a crucial detail often overlooked. He was not fully instrument-rated. This meant he wasn't certified to fly solely by instruments, a critical skill when visibility is poor. And on that July night in 1999, visibility was far from ideal. The weather reports painted a troubling picture: hazy conditions, a setting sun, and over the ocean the horizon would have been nearly invisible. This phenomenon, known as spatial disorientation, is a known risk for pilots, especially those without full instrument training. It tricks the brain, making it difficult to discern up from down, especially in low light. Imagine that for a moment, the feeling of losing your bearings in the vast darkness. Add to this the pressure John likely felt to get to Martha's Vineyard. His cousin Rory Kennedy was getting married the next day, and the flight was carrying not just him, but his wife Carolyn and her sister Lauren. It's human nature to push on, to believe we can beat the odds, especially when facing social obligations. But in aviation, as in life, these decisions have consequences. The pressure on John wasn't just about making it to a family event. It was the weight of the Kennedy legacy, the unspoken expectation that he should be there, present, the golden son. Some reports even suggest that Carolyn had reservations about the flight, that there were tensions between the couple. Imagine that, a young couple, already navigating the intense pressure of public life, now facing a stressful decision. Do they fly into increasingly dangerous conditions, or disappoint family and face the scrutiny of the ever-present media? The pressure to uphold a public image, to live up to a name, can be immense. It's easy to judge from the outside, but in the moment, under that weight, decisions can feel different. We may never know the full extent of the conversations that took place that evening, but the context is crucial. As if the weather and the pressure to attend the wedding weren't enough, another factor comes into play: a delay. The flight was scheduled to leave earlier but was pushed back, putting them in the air as twilight turned into darkness, the worst possible time for a pilot with limited instrument experience to be navigating hazy conditions. And then there was John's physical condition. He had recently broken his ankle and was in a cast. While not debilitating, this injury could have affected his movement and his ability to control the plane's rudder pedals, particularly in a stressful situation. These details, seemingly small in isolation, add layers of complexity to the story. A delayed departure, a recent injury, mounting pressure, and deteriorating weather conditions. All these factors converged on that fateful evening. In the aftermath of the crash, investigators faced a significant obstacle. The plane, a private aircraft, was not equipped with a flight data recorder, commonly known as a black box, nor did it have a cockpit voice recorder. These devices are invaluable in piecing together the final moments of a flight, providing critical data on altitude, airspeed, and pilot inputs. Without this information, the investigation relied heavily on radar data, eyewitness accounts, and analysis of the wreckage. It's like trying to solve a puzzle with half the pieces missing. We can speculate, we can analyze, but we can never know for certain the exact sequence of events that led to the tragedy. The lack of a black box only deepens the mystery, fueling speculation and making it difficult to separate fact from fiction. It's a stark reminder of the limitations we face when investigating accidents, even in our modern age. The Kennedy name has long been synonymous with both triumph and tragedy. It's no surprise then that the circumstances surrounding John F. Jr.'s death have been fertile ground for conspiracy theories. From whispers of sabotage to speculation about political motives, these theories, while lacking evidence, persist in the public imagination. Some point to the so-called Kennedy curse, a string of untimely deaths that have plagued the family for decades. Others claim that John's potential political aspirations made him a target. While these theories may offer a sense of explanation, a way to make sense of the senseless, they often distract from the facts. It's crucial to remember that there is no evidence to support these claims. The National Transportation Safety Board concluded that the crash was a tragic accident, caused by pilot error and spatial disorientation. John F. Kennedy Jr. was more than just a famous name. He was a husband, a brother, a son, and a man who, by all accounts, was finding his own path. There were whispers of a political career, perhaps a run for the U.S. Senate, a chance to continue the legacy he never asked for but wore with grace. His death, at the young age of 38, felt like more than just an accident. It felt like the closing of a chapter in American history, the dimming of a light that had shone so brightly for so long. The Camelot era, that brief, shining moment of hope and idealism, seemed to vanish with him beneath the waves. What might he have accomplished had he lived? What mark could he have made on the world? These questions linger unanswered, a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring power of what could have been. More than 2 decades have passed since that tragic July night, but the memory of John F. Kennedy Jr., Carolyn and Lauren continues to resonate. What makes this story linger in the public mind isn't just the tragedy itself, but the layers of ambition, legacy, and what could have been. The crash was more than an aviation accident. It felt like the closing chapter of a uniquely American saga. While conspiracy theories persist, it's important to remember the facts. A young pilot facing pressure and challenging conditions made a series of fateful decisions. It's a story that underscores the importance of experience, the unforgiving nature of flight, and the weight of expectations. John F. Kennedy Jr. lived his life in the public eye, but he also sought moments of privacy, of normalcy. It's in those moments, perhaps, that we can best remember him, not as an icon, but as a man who loved, laughed, and soared above the clouds, forever bound to a legacy he never asked for, but carried with him until the very end.